I welcome you all to yet another video lesson of The Red Trap by Selma Lyalov. In this video lesson, we will discuss the theme and examine the important characters and incidents of the story. I hope all of you will enjoy this video lesson. So let's start. The first character that we find is the rat trap seller, the paddler. He is a poor fellow who leads a poverty stricken life. He has clothes in rags. He has no proper clothes. His physical condition is that he has sunken cheeks. This shows his poverty and hunger. Hunger gleamed in his eyes. Even his eyes can show that he was poor. He lived by begging and petty thievery, and his work was making and selling rat traps, also known as the peddler, rat trap seller, tramp, vagabond, stranger, and the paddler. So this is about the character, the paddler. Unwanted joy of rat trap seller. What joy he finds and how. His is entertaining thought. He thinks about the world as a rat trap to entertain his mind, as he was a victim of loneliness and isolation. He thought that the world is a big rat trap with land and seas, cities and villages, and the riches, joys, shelter, food, heat, clothing are all bait, are all baits. Now we get a situation where he goes to the crofter, and the crofter welcomes him wholeheartedly. Okay. uh, in everyone's house, the paddler do not get any type of warm invitation, but here we find he was invited by the crofter in a warm manner. The reaction of the faces of the people on seeing the paddler generally become sour, but here it was not so with the crofter. A crofter was somebody who rented a small farm with a plot of land and living in a house on it. A tenant farmer who paid his tenancy with manpower instead of cash. Let's know about some of the character traits of the crofter, the old crofter. He was old, lonely, without wife or children. He welcomed rat trap seller. He shared supper of porridge. He shared tobacco also, and both of them played mealis. Now he was also generous with him. He was generous with confidences too. He shared everything with the paddler. He shared because he had no one to share his feelings. He said that he about his cow, how he was supported by cow, and last month how he got 30 kronor from creamery. He even showed his guest where he kept the money. That is about old crofter. Now the peddler is caught in the trap baited by money. And when he stole the 30 kronor of the crofter, he ran to the forest. And in the forest, he is lost. He is lost in big and confusing forest. Strangely path twisted and forth. Had been walking around the same part, the whole forest like impenetrable prison. So the thought of rat trap, getting trapped in rat trap, comes in the mind of the paddler. He thinks that now it was his turn to be caught in the rat trap. He fooled and caught by the bat. What was the bait for the paddler? 30 kronors of the crofter acted as bait for the paddler. See, later on, he reaches an iron works, that is Ramsjo Iron Works. It was a larger plant with smelter, rolling mill, forge. And who was the owner of this iron work? The iron master. These are the things related to the iron works. These activities are done in the iron work, or we can say every iron work, these things are done. Smelting is a process of applying heat to ore in order to extract a base metal. Rolling is a process in which metal is passed through one or more pairs of rolls to reduce the thickness and to make the thickness uniform. The concept is similar to the rolling of dough. Then forging. Forging is a manufacturing process involving the shaping of metal. The blows are delivered with hammer, preferably a power hammer. These are big bellows that are used in iron works, and shoveling charcoal in this image that is there in the below. You are shown about this shoveling charcoal into the maw of the furnace. Now, who was the owner of that Ramsjo iron work? The iron master. The iron master arrives at the mill and he mistakes the tramp to be his old regimental comrade, Niels Olaf. But the vagabond refused. The iron master invited the peddler to his house, thinking that he was his old regimental comrade. But the vagabond refused, thinking that it would be like voluntarily throwing himself into the lion's den, as he was worried about the 30 kroner. The vagabond, that is the peddler, did not accept the invitation of the iron master. In a sense, we can say that the way of invitation was not appealing for the peddler. And later, the iron master sends his daughter Adela Williamson to invite the peddler. And Adela Williamson arrives in a carriage. Looking at that fellow, that tramp, she thinks that he is afraid he has stolen something or he has escaped from jail. So we can say here that Adela Williamson has a great understanding of man and situation as compared to her father. She can read the situation, and that's why she thought that he has stolen something or he has escaped from jail. She says, I am sorry that you are having a hard time. Please stay with us over Christmas Eve. You will be allowed to leave us just freely as you came. She said this word in a very polite manner, in an appealing manner, and her friendly manner gave confidence to Rattrap seller, and he thinks it never occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself. I will come at once. That means the paddler got ready to go with Adela. Now, what happens there? Let's see. When the stranger was truly clean and well dressed, the valet had bathed him, cut his hair, and shaved him. He was dressed in good looking clothes of the iron master. Then the iron master realizes that he has made a mistake. He thinks, I might have made a mistake. And he says in a harsh manner, what you did was not quite honest. He asks the peddler to go out. Then the peddler replies that the whole world is a rat trap. Mr. Iron Master, one day you will get caught in the trap. Now, what she says to her father, how she says to her father Adler says he walks alone the whole year, always afraid of being arrested. He is not welcome anywhere. I would like him to enjoy a day, just one day, the whole year. We ought not chase away a human being. We asked him to come. We promised Christmas cheer. Uh, this means that she makes her father realize that they should not uh, uh, make him run. They should not make him go from their house. And the Iron Master also listens to the words of his daughter, and he says, I only hope you won't have to regret this. The suite is a Christmas present. You can spend next Christmas Eve here and rest in peace. You're welcome back again. How she gives the suit as a Christmas present, and he asks the peddler to take a rest. She welcomes the guest in a very fantastic manner. Now, at the very end, we find the peddler as a changed personality. The generosity and kind treatment by Adler helped the peddler to change himself, and he leaves a letter to Adler with a gift of a rat trap. What he writes in the letter, let's see. Honored and noble Miss. This he addresses to Adler. Since you have been so nice to me all day long, as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you in return, as if I was a real captain. For I do not want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief. But you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this walled rat trap if he had not raised to captain, because on the wave he got power to clear himself. Written with friendship and high regard, Captain Von Stahl. See, he signs the letter as Captain Von Stahl. No doubt he was not Captain Von Stahl, but he raised himself to the status of Captain Von Stahl, as he is treated as the captain in their house, and he raised himself, he changed himself to that status. That's why he signs the letter as Captain Von Stahl. we have to do character analysis. The important characters: Adler Williamson, Iron Master, Rat Trap Paddler, and Crofter. And firstly, you have to write about the character and physical appearance and the adjectives from the text that tells about the characters. For example, Adler Williamson, what you will write about her physical appearance. She doesn't look very much pretty, and in adjective, what? Kind-hearted or other adjectives. Okay, in this manner you have to do about all the characters and use as much adjectives for each character as you can. Adler Williamson, not at all pretty, but modest and quite shy. Exceptionally kind, wise, and perceptive. Perceptive, how she perceives the situation of the paddler. She was a good observant. She observes man and matters. A great judge of human character. She displays maturity and grace. She is kind, gentle, and hospitable. Despite her knowledge about the peddler's intention, she treats him with respect and feeds him well. She feels it was unethical to send a guest away as he had been promised Christmas cheer. He was able to rise to the level of captain, leaving his temptation aside just because he did not want to let her as well as himself down. She is able to awaken goodness in the paddler's heart by showing understanding and love. Her kindness and caring nature transformed the unscrupulous vagabond into a good human being. She is the most positive figure in the story, and her compassion and generosity are the reasons for the paddler's transformation. Now let's come to the character of Iron Master. He was rich and the owner of a large iron factory named Ramsjo Iron Work. His greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. He was kind-hearted too and friendly. He was in the military in his younger days. He was not very observant as compared to his daughter, who was a good judge of man and situation. He was not a good judge of character. When he mistakes the rat trap seller as his old friend, he tried to help him. He did not insult him because of his worn out condition. He took him to his house and cared for him. He took him to his house means he said his daughter to bring the poor man to his house, as his manner of invitation was not accepted by the paddler. When he realized his mistake, he lost his mind. He was angry with the poor man. He wanted to throw him out of his house. Nevertheless, on his daughter's request, he behaved nicely with him. Then about the rat trap paddler. The rat trap in this lesson is used as a metaphor to highlight human predicament. Just as a rat is fooled by a bait and gets trapped, most human beings are likely to fall into the trap of materialistic benefits. The rat trap paddler, he was a poor vagabond, and he used to wear shabby ragged clothes. He was always wearing shabby ragged clothes. He sold rat traps to earn a very meager livelihood. At times, he resorted to petty thievery. He considered the entire world as a big rat trap and all man and woman as rats, vulnerable to be trapped by various types of baits. He philosophizes people's existence in the rat trap. He himself got trapped in this rat trap when he stole 30 kronors of the old crofter. There was some goodness left in him that was brought to surface by kind Adler Williamson. At the end, he transformed himself and returned the stolen money to the crofter through Adler. And he gives back what he gets. The old crofter. Who is a crofter? A crofter was somebody who rented a small farm with a plot of land and living in a house on it. A tenant farmer who paid his tenancy with manpower instead of cash. The old crofter who lets the peddler spend the night at his house. He was lonely and glad to have company. He provides the peddler with food, tobacco, and conversation. He used to be a crofter, someone who rents and walks a small farm at Ramsjo Iron Works. Now he survives by selling the milk from his extraordinary cow. The old crofter is kind and generous. The peddler repays his generosity by stealing 30 kronors from him. After, the crofter shows him where he keeps the money. See, about Adela Williamson, she was very compassionate, we come to know, as compared to her father. Now you are given a task, you have to write in your notebook, compare and contrast the characters of Adela Williamson with that of her father. You have to write the answer in your notebook. Thus, the essential goodness in a human being, Rattrap-Paddler, was awakened through understanding and love of Adela Williamson. He was able to redeem himself. That is what for today. I hope all of you have enjoyed the video lesson and your doubt is clear. If at all any doubt is there, we can discuss in the next video lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.